Okay, solve and graphing compound inequalities. Solve and graph each compound inequality below. If you remember, for compound inequalities, we'll get a graph that's either connected or we'll get a graph that's headed in separate directions. And this one, since it says or, we know we're going to get a graph that's headed in two separate directions. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a squiggly line. These are actually two separate problems that we're going to get to work. So for the first one, 3x plus 9 is less than or equal to 15. If we want to solve this for x, we'll subtract 9 from both sides. So we'll get 3x is less than or equal to 6. And then to get rid of the 3, we'll divide both sides by 3, so that x is less than or equal to 2. And then work in the other problem. Let's add 7 to both sides. So we'll get 6x is greater than 24. And then let's divide both sides by 6. I'll get x is greater than 4. So x is either less than or equal to 2, or x is bigger than 4. So let's go ahead and put those on my number line. Let's put a 3 in the middle. Less than or equal to 2, we're going to close in the 2, because there's an equal sign, and less than heads to the left. And then greater than 4, open circle at 4, heads to the right. All right, number 16, negative 14 is less than or equal to 4x plus 2, which is less than 14. All right, this one, because the whole problem is connected, I do know that I will be connecting my graph on this one. I'm going to draw lines down both of the less than or equal to signs. If I want to get x by itself in the middle, the first thing we want to do is to get rid of the plus 2. So we'll do minus 2 to all three parts. Negative 14 minus 2 is negative 16. And I just have 4x in the middle. 14 minus 2 is 12. And now to get rid of the 4 in the middle, we'll divide all three parts by the 4. So we'll get negative 4x. 12 divided by 4 is 3. We're just going to bring those signs down that were in the original problem. So there is my answer. So that means x is somewhere in between negative 4 and 3. So negative 4 goes on my number line. 3 goes on my number line. I'm just going to put 0 in the middle. For negative 4, since there's an equal sign for that one, we'll put a close circle. At 3, there's no equal sign, so we'll put an open circle. And we know that this is a connected graph. All right, problem 17. This is another OR problem, so we know we're going to be heading in separate directions. So just treat each problem like it is separate. In this first one, to get rid of negative 9, since it's next to it, it means multiply. We're going to divide both sides by the negative 9. I'm going to get x. 18 divided by negative 9 is negative 2. And I divided by a negative number, so I need to make my less than sign a greater than sign. And then this next one, since it says 3 plus x, to get rid of the plus 3, we're going to do minus 3 to both sides. So I'll get x is less than or equal to negative 5. And I don't have to switch the way because I didn't divide by negative 3. I subtracted it this time. So this is my answer. Okay, now we have to be careful because negative 5 actually goes to the left of the negative 2. Okay, and then negative 5, we notice there's an equal sign on it, so we're going to go ahead and close it in. And less than would head to the left. And then greater than negative 2, we're going to have an open circle heading to the right. Okay, number 18, negative 28 is less than or equal to 2 minus 6x, which is less than 38. This is a connected problem, so again, we'll make a connected graph. So I'm going to draw lines down both of my inequality signs. If we want to get the stuff in the middle gone, to get rid of the 2, first of all, it's a positive 2, so we're going to do minus 2 to all three parts. Negative 28 minus 2 is negative 30. I'm still left with the negative 6x, not just the 6x, but bring down your negative also. And 38 minus 2 is 36. Right, now from here, we get to divide everything by the negative 6. So negative 30 divided by negative 6 is 5. This in the middle just gives me x, and 36 divided by negative 6 gives me negative 6. And since I divided by a negative number, I have to change these ones to going the other way. So that is my answer. And then from here, we know it's a connected graph because x is somewhere between those two numbers. When I put it on my number line, though, I do need to put negative 6 on the left and 5 on the right. And then with the 5, there's an equal sign. With the negative 6, there is not. And we do know that is a connected graph.